What up, everybody? Your boy, the show, Bullet 8 back. We got another video, a couple of videos actually, we're gonna watch today. Yeah, this stream is gonna be about something that is kind of important to talk about right now because it's absolutely crazy. And it's a funny situation because I've spoken about certain individuals, coming up with this whole this ability to just speak on something without knowing all the facts of the situation and make it look in a specific light that it really is not. And H3H3 was one of the individuals at the center of it before. And guess what? He is again this time. And this one is, it's bad because he goes so far as to not only platform an individual, but to back them up. And whether he says or not that the intention, the no, that he's directly saying something, the intent was actually there. And what am I talking about? Well, let's go ahead and get everything switched over for you all to see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so a while ago, last week, yeah, I think it was about. Oh, okay, so yeah, on the 11th, this video pops up on screen. It's a 3-hour stream. I'm in the middle of, doing what I'm doing, and I let it go ahead play in the background and caught up to somewhere within this situation. And what really had me interested in it was the fact that it it said this right here in the title. Fresh and Fit guest calls in to expose them off the rails. That's about the right title for him, his podcast, whatever you want to call it. This is a long video, but we're not going to watch this because what ends up happening after I leave a comment on this video, and I'm not going to say what my comment is yet because I want you all to get a bigger picture of the story. We're actually going to be using Abba Preach's video here. Abba Preach's, you guys know, I have caught a couple of things from them here and there, and it's been a situation where their viewpoints on these scenarios that come up are, in my eyes, at times pretty spot on. There's a few things here and there that I may not agree with, but it's intelligently thought out. Not just intelligently thought out, but it's with an open mind that they typically take on these situations and speak about them now. And inherently, every one of us has some specific situations where we are just like, can't agree with it, don't agree with it, won't agree with it. But at least they take the time to hear individuals out on them and try and see it from, their perspective. In this situation, well, let's just go ahead and jump into it.
Okay, where's the mouthwash?
And we're not going to watch this whole video as we're actually going to jump into the second part of it.
So this goes from the H3H3 podcast, right? They recovered a story, they brought on a guest. This woman went on a certain podcast and then had a story to tell afterwards. She says she doesn't like the people she met there. They give her a
Which
ride home and she leaves her wallet inside the vehicle.
I left my wallet in Myron's car because he was the one driving. And Myron gets the wallet, and Walter was like, "Oh, he wants your friend's number if he's gonna bring back the wallet," meaning me. So I was like, sure, like I need my wallet. Like I'm not gonna text this guy anyways. He gets my number and he brings back the wallet, and I
now I need you all to hear what she's saying, all the little nuances she's saying, because she's already made it clear that she left her wallet, her belongings, whatever. The individual wants her number to let her know that, hey, you want your stuff back, and this is supposed to be supposedly going through a third party. She said she wasn't going to text the individual, didn't want to talk to them because she didn't like them as it was, which typically is a bad sign in a situation when you can come right out the gate and say, yo, I'm telling this story, but let me go ahead and remind you that I don't like these individuals, as it were. Let me go ahead and kill that because my phone will go off constantly otherwise. All right, so let's jump back into it.
I had basically texted him saying like, "Don't steal my wallet, like before you put it back." And then he tried to maintain a conversation with me like through text, and I was like not answering him because I had gotten my wallet back. And I only had about like 3 more days until I had left for my trip, and me and my friend were saying like, it would be fun to sit here and like make him look dumb. Like he sits here and he thinks that he can get all these women, but then a 19-year-old like doesn't rejects him. So
You heard what she said, right? Let's play a game. Would you like to play a game? I mean, what? So you went on this individual's show. You don't like them. They have your personal belongings. You decide to jokingly, haha, don't steal my stuff. Go ahead, give them my number, but I'm not going to talk to them. And then I want to play a game with this individual. They think they're hot shit, like all these ladies want them. How about I go ahead and knock them down a few pegs? Okay.
Basically he kept like texting me every day. Like when I wouldn't respond, he would just say hello, 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 like called me. I never answered. And then eventually I was like,
Desperate.
and I was like, if I'm gonna hang out with him,
H3H3
why
puts
not
his
hang
2
out
cents in.
to like, because you can't interrupt
A
me
little
on the
desperate.
podcast, but I can interrupt you at dinner. So I basically said, you know what? Yeah, if we're gonna hang out, I want to eat dinner or go to lunch. Simple. And he said, well, you can come to my place and see if you can handle me. And
Okay. Hold on. I'm not gonna really talk to him, but if I am gonna hang out with him, I'm gonna have lunch or dinner. I'm gonna get something out of it. All right. And then he makes a remark, and said remark is of sexual innuendo. You come to my place and see if you can handle me. Okay.
I was like, no, he said if you can handle me. From there, he just basically just kept texting me like,
Does this make story? Does this make sense? Story to you?
That's
This was so fucking.
no dead ass, and he's not wrong. There's some shit that don't make sense here. It really don't. I want to get through this one because there's some other shit I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I said after I watched the actual H3H3 video. Once we get through a bit of this.
if we're gonna go out, can Izzy and Walter, so can my friend and Walter come? And he was like, oh well, you can't leave your friend alone. And I was like, not really, because it was just I never wanted to be alone with him at all. I did not want to be alone with him.
Okay, I don't want to be alone with this individual, but I'm gonna go out with you anyway.
Like around her area.
I don't like him, but I'm gonna be around him.
We were doing our own thing, and Walter had showed up. And he came up to us, like we went to his table, he was talking to us, and he comes straight up to me and he says, Myra wants you. And I said, a child? like, on the podcast, I was sick to my stomach just being on the podcast itself. But, like, just being in his presence, like,
keep all of this in mind. Seriously.
Weird. I also tried getting Myron out to the club, so again, like, I didn't want to be alone with him.
Oh, stop. Okay, my girl. Miguel. Okay. Why are you going out with a guy that you don't want to be alone with?
Thank you. As I said before, he made innuendo that you supposedly felt uncomfortable with. You don't like him, you despise him, you don't like his viewpoints, different things like that, but yet you want to play this game. I want to skip through this because, like I said, I want to get through. Oh my God, the ads. Hang on. I want to skip through most of this because
Like, we're not doing that.
I want to get to the other video.
We pull up in front of the podcast department, and Myron was coming out of the building, and I get out of the car, and Walter leaves.
So now,
Okay. At this point, hear what she said. she ends up at their actual studio. Walter, who's the other half of Fresh and Fit, leaves her with Myron, essentially saying that they stranded her. Now, there's a point I want to get to in this, and watching the full video, I know that it comes up in this as well, because we've already seen H3H3, and I know I've skipped through a bit of it. We've already seen him, confirm her allegations, say that Myron was being needy, trying to fuck with his character by this point. We've already seen it, but it happens more. Let's keep going.
Basically, my friend was alone with Fresh, and I was alone with Fit. Perfect day, perfect night. I'm talking to him, I'm pacing him in the driver's seat. I'm still going, I'm passionate, eager, telling him my views and stuff, and we end up at the podcast studio.
So wait a minute. We're sitting here arguing. I mean, if she's expressing her views and she's being passionate about it, and she dislikes this individual, who, mind you, she's already said she wasn't going to contact him, talk to him, whatever, doesn't like him. They both, in effect, she and H3H3 called him needy and a little, what was the exact word? Damn it, my brain. Like, literally, these situations absolutely get me to a point to where I'm like, how stupid are people? How stupid are people? But in effect, she said that she didn't want to have anything to do with this individual, but turns around and then says, let's play a game, because he thinks he's all this, so I'm going to knock him down a few pegs. And then when you end up at the studio, or wherever you end up, because the story switched up there, you're now going to the studio. You get separated from your friend. She's going out with Walter. You're now with Myron. You're in the car. Now, at this point, I mean, there was already the obvious notion of, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this. I'm going, take me back, or hey, I'm going to call an Uber. Where I am right now is good enough. I've gotten my belongings. I'm gone. But let's keep going.
We have everything set up, and I already moved away at the apartment, so I'm sitting in the kitchen area of the podcast studio. I'm walking out to the balcony, and there's like a door that I hadn't seen open before. Like, basically, it's an apartment that they made into a studio. So that was the bedroom. So I'm walking like towards the bedroom into the balcony, like towards the balcony, and he's standing in the door frame, and he just grabs my face and kisses me.
Wow. There you go. He was reading the room. Good at reading the signal.
Yeah.
You talk about
And listen to Mr. Smarty Pants there.
You need mouthwash.
Ew. What?
Yeah, I was texting my friend the whole time, and you see me say like he just told me to get mouthwash or something. And
Yeah,
it was
let me
that.
pull up this text. Again, guys, we have receipts. This is fully vetted. Bro, mine.
Okay. That right there was what I was looking for, because I remembered that. Very specific. Him saying it. I'm like, really? We have receipts. This was fully vetted. All right. That's what he says there. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead, because I believe they covered at the very end. And then we're going to the second video. But before that, I'm going to tell you what I said when I saw his initial video before seeing theirs, because when I saw them speak about it, I was like, I think the same exact thing. Here we go.
And I get into my Uber, and like at that point, I think that's when it kicked in. I started crying because I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I feel uncomfortable. And
Oh, wait a minute.
just like no, like right away in my head, I was like, no, I don't want to have like sex with this person. Like I don't. And right away in my head goes,
in my head. So this is the shit, right?
Okay, so after what she said, she went to his place. The parts that we skipped over was the fact that she then put on one of their some of their merch. She had changed from whatever she was wearing, put on their merch. Most people, I think, missed that little subtlety when she tried skipping over a great deal of the story. Then goes from the point of, hey, you need mouthwash after kissing her because she tasted like alcohol. And from what I do understand about Fresh and Fit, Myron doesn't drink. I believe that's the case. He doesn't drink. So, of course, the taste to him would be like, ah. She then goes and actually does so and splashes her mouth out with mouthwash, goes into the very bedroom where there's a bed that he's sitting on and goes and sits down with him. They start interacting with one another. And then at some point she goes, oh, no, I don't want to do this. And he stops and okay, cool. She then goes from that point and says, well, can I get a lift home? And he's like, nah, you call an Uber, whatever. Now, this might sound like a dick move, but it's one of those situations where he even asks her, like, where am I responsible for getting you home? You effectively, and I'm going to take this from what I would guess his mind state would be. You've effectively played this game this whole time. We get into this situation that on his end, he's getting the signals from, but she's saying that he was not getting said signals from. But then at the very end, you're like, no. And so he's like, okay, now I do need you to go ahead and separate away from me, because the smart thing to do at that point would literally be probably to turn on every fucking camera in that place to prove that when she said no, he stopped and was like, all right, you can go. Because now I don't want to be in the car with you. I don't need to be in the car with you alone. That would be a big fucking mistake on his behalf. Whether he got that far in the thought process or not, I'm just going to try and give the benefit of the doubt, or just say something in him was like, fuck it. Just go ahead and go. All right. On that note, what I said on H3H3's video was, man, it's a shame how much of an ignorant, childish, and naive individual you are to platform that girl who told a story that made no sense, played out in a manner that happens in the real life dating world, that went along with everything. And when she finally said aloud, not in her head or anything else, when she said aloud she didn't want something, it stopped. You and she both played a role in its simplicity to attempt to make individuals look like predators and her a victim. That's exactly what they did during that video. That's exactly what they did. Now, this is the reason actual victims of heinous acts are questioned and not believed. She's in essence telling this ludicrous story, and you effectively push along the false narrative, which makes real stories seem like less than they are. You should vet these situations. Mind, he said it was already vetted. Mind you, he said that. And the individuals a lot better. You should vet these situations, stories, and individuals a lot better. But of course, it makes you money and sounds good to those who can't hear the holes in logic. Tell when someone is making up a situation and absolutely not taking responsibility for their own actions as an adult. Come on, man. Do you have no life experience at all? And some of you might think, well, she told a story, and well, if you look at the story and you listen to all of what the story entails, there's a lot of shit that has bullet holes all through it. Not just that, but to effectively start something and say that I can't stand these individuals, and then I'm going to play this game with these individuals and make them look stupid because I'm 19 years old, and then put myself in this situation where, fuck it, well, you know what, I am going to go out with them and then change clothes. I'm going through the whole situation where he told you, in effect, look, we gonna see what it do. We gonna be fucking. Now, someone in H3H3 video makes this comment here. Towards the end, I saw people victim blaming the caller, and I just want to say that it doesn't matter what she did or what she didn't do. No one ever deserves to be assaulted. Stop victim blaming. It's disgusting. My answer to that, towards the end, I saw, oh, My answer to that, well, you're out of your mind because no one victim blamed her. She was not assaulted. What she did and did not do does have an effect. There are real individuals out there who are getting the R word. YouTube has the ability to kind of ban you or whatever, try and get you screwed over on your videos because of the fact that they listen for very specific words, and that's one of those words. There's very real victims who go through this stuff. But you, within all of your naivety, Miss Katie J, decided to take this viewpoint without knowing the full entire story. And guess where that leads us? To this type of situation. And if you haven't seen anything about this case today, oh, she blew herself up. Over the last 2 days, she has done nothing but blow herself up and not take responsibility for a single action, not having a single shred of proof or evidence. And in fact, most of the stuff that Amber Heard said recently as, to her claims, there's zero evidence. And all the evidence is actually pointing at her as to being the absolute, I'm looking for something right now, so don't worry, I'm looking for a comment that was made here, makes her look absolutely like she's the one who antagonized all these situations and everything else. Give me a sec while I find this comment. Jesus, that's a lot. And what I love about it, okay, so someone to that young lady's victim shaming comment, another female makes a comment: throughout her entire story, there's so many inconsistencies and BS. I didn't text him or respond, but then you made plans with him. You never wanted to hang out with him, and now you want to reject him. Thought it was creepy, but then you go in the car with him. And it goes on and on and on. I mean, that comment goes, there's a book that was written as far as that comment goes right there. I'm trying to find another one very specifically. So give me a second. I apologize. And so many other individuals who are trying to agree with it without, again, knowing the entirety of the scenario. I can't find it. It doesn't matter, because here's what we's gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at actual receipts, because what people tend to fail to forget, that in this digital day and age, there are means and ways to actually distort the truth. H3H3 and that young lady decided to, in effect, make the guy look like a predator with the way that they described it, the way that he went along with it, the way that he said there were these receipts that she had given him. But let's go ahead and catch the update. I haven't even gotten to watch all of this.
H3 versus FNF stuff, right? We said, yo, honestly, this girl's story don't make no sense. And so, Fresh and Fit came out with their own little live stream and then posted a couple of, long form conversations. And I thought it would be important to cover some of these receipts.
What's going on, King Brian?
Was correct. It was. I don't think I need to place it. Come on, it was.
We got back to the apartment and I left my wallet, and I guess it was a gift from God, but I left my wallet in Myron's car because he was the one driving. And Myron gets the wallet, and Walter was like, "Oh, he wants your friend's number if he's gonna bring back the wallet," meaning me.
I need your friend's number if I'm gonna.
So this is Myron discussing H3H3 in this young lady's video, because I mean, he's being accused of sexual assault. That's a big fucking accusation. Let's keep it 100.
Bring back the wallet? Here we go. Mm-hmm. Okay. She asked me, what did he say? So at no point does he say, I need your number. He ends up going.
Look at that. At no point does he say anything about that. If you guys don't understand that individuals will make up scenarios in order to make themselves look better, to make themselves look like victims, to make themselves gain some form of clout, recognition, to boost. And mind you, if she was on that show, let me tell you something. The people that they choose for that are girls with Instagram profiles who are out there trying to make a name for themselves. If you don't believe that individuals will do this, I need to go ahead and tell you that you would be absolutely ignorant and naive to believe that. And then I need to go ahead and switch you back over to show you this situation right here. Caught in so many lies, so many inconsistencies, can remember everything up until the point of, so you do hear this audio. Well, that's not what it says. We just heard the audio. We heard you admit to it. Well, that's not what I meant. And then to turn around and actually use the very same verbiage that so many individuals in these situations, women typically who are feeling neglected. The individual has to work too much. Their career is not the same as their spouses, and they are jealous in those situations. And they will blame the spouse for anything and make up shit. Get into large arguments over things this small. And what's even funnier, to actually have the audacity to have the very same issues, do the very same things as their spouse, though the guy does not argue about it, doesn't cause any kind of scene, doesn't call her out on it, because he's just like, you know what, I can clean up this, or it's a small enough instance. Why am I going to make a big deal out of it? But then they make a huge deal out of it. And in this case, what I'm saying is, in people's minds, in people's emotional dysfunction, they feel that they have to lie and make a story much more than what it is. Now, he never asked her for shit, but let's keep it rolling.
Giving her the keys. Okay. So that's
Oh, and if you didn't know, Abba and Preach have no love for Fresh and Fit. Walter and Myron. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. And I understand why. And it's a thing that I could care less for some of the things they say or do. But I'm telling you right now, wrong is wrong. And people need to learn how to take accountability for it. She made up the whole situation. Yep. And did you see that? Did you see that? Hold up. Bruh, Walter, I need my keys. I need to sleep. I need my car for work. Answer. There's no answer. I don't know what time it is, or maybe they're working or whatever. Can you come here and take us to his crib to get it? I really need my keys.
Hold on. And so this is the second part. This is why that made me laugh. So remember, she's like, I don't know how to get home, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I feel stranded. I'm going to show y'all.
She made a huge deal about that in that video too, that she was stranded. It was so far away from where, you know, she was supposed to be with her friend. It was a huge issue, and it was one of the reasons why she felt so uncomfortable. She felt so lost and so alone and everything else. And why couldn't he just take me home? Because like I said before, it might have been in his best interest not to get in the car with her again. But here we go.
How lazy and entitled these girls are, and how close they actually were, where they could have went ahead and gotten it themselves. Bureau of Prisons,
come and get me, though.
You guys want to see how fucking lazy these chicks are?
1 mile. If you don't get the fuck out of here. 1 mile. Girl.
A mile.
My girl. 1 mile. Whoa, wow. 1 mile. Everybody put down their phone. You punch in the GPS, boom, you're gone.
A mile, bruh.
You get up after these dudes to get your keys back. They're 1 mile away. Do you know how entitled and fucking lazy you have to be to forget some shit after you get a ride from somebody and to demand that they come deliver it to you? They're 1 mile away. But anyways, let's keep playing.
Yeah.
He's gonna bring back the wallet.
Cause I'd honestly be like, why the hell am I coming back? I just got back home. You forgot it, not me. That's like being out with one of the homies. Hey, bro, I left something in your car. I know you might be working or you at home chilling with your fam and everything else, but I need you to get up and come and, get that over to me, even though I could just as easily get in my car. Oh, they don't have a car. All right. Call a Lyft. It's a fucking mile away, bro. I'm on my way to come pick up my stuff. I don't want you to have to, come in, do that whole situation all over again. Or better yet, hey, look, I'm gonna have to use my Lamborghinis. What's a mile on a walk? Not that bad. But I mean, hell, that's what lifts and shit. That's why they exist too. A mile away. But I'm gonna inconvenience you because, well, why not? I'm a girl, you're a dude. You should just do it. Just cause. After saying how much I don't like you, after saying how uncomfortable I felt in the first place, come back.
So I was like, sure, like I need my wallet. Like I'm not gonna text this guy anyways. He gets my number and then he's trying to make some conversation with me like through text, and I was like not answering him because I had got my wallet back.
But wait, who initiates the fucking conversation?
Yo,
Facts.
So she contacted me. So how am I the man to get her number? She was the one that contacted me first. But, right? So she's saying, oh, I didn't talk with him. I didn't text him back. Just go play it through real quick, Chris, and we're gonna analyze parts of this conversation later. Shout out to Temple. But look, she's not texting me. Look at that. That looks like a fucking conversation to me.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
But she has to make herself look better in the grand scheme of things, especially to other females. Especially to get that sympathetic point of view, to get sympathy from everyone, because she's saying she was a victim of something.
To me.
God damn. Again, I don't like these dudes. I think for all intents and purposes, Amrul Fuddle is a loser. That's my personal.
What'd he say? I don't like him.
None whatsoever. All these people are like, why are you defending scum? I don't care if they're scum. I don't care if they're saints. Did they do what you claim? No? Then shut the fuck up. That's it.
And that's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. You don't have to like someone, but you got to know the difference between right and wrong. And to make a claim or something like that, of something of that nature, you are the one in the wrong.
Looking at? She's out here claiming all like he's so desperate and creepy and all this stuff. You out here having full-on conversations and linking it and then lying about it in the aftermath, and you want to still be taken as credible. How many lies does somebody have to tell before you start to look at them and say, why should I believe anything you say? You've already tried to misrepresent things for your own personal gain.
Does this not sound familiar? I know I keep going back to it. Does this not sound familiar? 100.
Why should I believe any part of this? Oh, well, maybe she misremembered. Bruh, this is a conversation on text. You have records of this. You have time to go send screenshots to H3H3 to try to expose this dude, but you don't have any records of these conversations? Really?
Right. And that's a huge situation right there.
And my friend was saying, it would be fun to sit here and make him look dumb. Like he sits here and he thinks that he can get all these women, but then a 19-year-old doesn't rejects him.
That's bad.
This is a hit piece. And that's exactly what the fuck I told you. That there's girls that act exactly like that. I said that. That's what I mean.
that age will go and do that.
Yep.
For ego, because they need to prove some.
And it's not even just that age group. It's like women of all age groups. They will act like that. What? And then you wonder why. The dudes who you fuck with, who know you like that, treat you the way they do. It's fucked up. It's fucked up to say. I get it. But do you not remember what you gave out? How you played games with motherfuckers? And then to wonder even more so, why are dudes just like they don't want to fuck with me. They don't want to date. They don't want to be serious. It's shit like this. And it's not all women. And I always try and say, it's not all. It's not all. But these bad habits absolutely live in a great deal of women. I'll get back to that in a minute, what I was going to say.
Fucking shit. That was 100% right. Just to prove something. Oh, you
Yep.
think you're good? You think you're good? Perfect.
Look at when women get denied,
Kind of behavior.
turned down. Woo.
Does not show.
Woo.
Whenever they say that, you know what? It's only 10% of claims that are false claims. This is a false claim, but it's not reported because fresh
Right.
folk are not gonna report that shit.
Right.
But things like that happen because they feel ashamed, because it's pride, because of whatever, whatnot, because they need to prove a point, because they dislike someone. Someone will do that. Will do that.
The bounds people will go is obscene.
To create a whole story to do that, but it's not gonna be reported. Why? Because God shut the fuck up about that shit.
Exactly.
So when you
Exactly.
about false claims that are
Yo, dead ass. Guys shut the fuck up about a lot. Guys, when it's almost one of those things to us that it becomes the situation of, is it worth my time? I have to take time away from everything, whether it's work, whether it's, my day-to-day functions, I have to take time away from it to go after this individual who made this false claim on me, or I'm gonna feel like a bitch if I sit here and complain about, what this girl just said about me. Who really cares? It doesn't matter to me, fuck it. Same thing in the relationship, in a marriage. Why am I gonna bitch and complain to her about, something that small? Whatever. You know what? It is what it is. Don't even trip. We're just built that way. We're just like, bruh, man, fuck that. Whatever. It's not reported. And this happens a ton. A ton. Where guys are just like, man, whatever.
Shut the fuck up about that shit because that shit is not real.
I just want to appreciate something. We ran over this last time, but just think of how manipulative and how much of a fucking loser you have to be to despise someone, go out of your way to interact with this person so you can then afterwards reject them. So you want to lead somebody on, pretend you have interest, so you can be like, you fucking loser. You wanted me? Get out of here. I would never. How much of a loser you have to go out of your way to spend time with people you apparently dislike.
So basically, he kept like texting me every.
She goes, okay. If only we didn't have plans for the day, I can ask Isabella to text him too. Okay. Don't sweat it. What time are you guys done with your day stuff? I'm thinking sometime around 7 to 8ish. Okay. And then I respond. Oh, she sends me that at 1:22 p.m. I don't send her anything. She sends me a message the next day, 2:52 a.m. You should add the Jeopardy song to the soundboard.
Why? Why would you? Why? That's over a 12-hour period at 13 hours at that point. This person hasn't contacted you back. Maybe they're asleep. Maybe they're working. Whatever. Been busy. Just have nothing really to say about it. Okay. Obviously, you didn't answer her 7 to 8ish time frame with around that time frame. All right. So how about we make plans Now, she could have left it at that. If it was all creepy, if it was so bad, she didn't want to talk to him, she could have left it at that and probably not heard a thing back from dude. But what did she do? 13 hours later, you should add the Jeopardy song to your soundboard, talking about what he does for a living. So now I'm gonna show interest in the very show that I can't stand and try and help you out, just to get that attention back. He's got to say something to me. If I say something about his work, that's gotta pull the interest. Let's roll.
I hate this show so bad, but here's a tip to make it better.
Thank you. Bruh. Holy shit. What I say?
Well, I don't get mad about this stuff. I just think, what a loser. Fucking losers. And you know what it is? Fucking loser. You know what it is? You're abominable. Okay, I want to tell you guys two things. People who take
Abominable, bro. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember one time I shot my shot with this girl in person. She said no. I said, cool, have a good day. Come to find out, you went to tell half the people in our community.
Why?
Why? I said, no, let's push it.
Why would you go tell people that?
I was like, some fucking, but some people are like,
The number of times I heard girls talking about, you know how that lady the other day, oh, that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he just love and boast about that shit, girl.
But it's a situation where I've heard this before too from females, where it's like they sit there and will reject the guy who took the time to come up and not even say anything negative, not say anything derogatory, anything like that. Take the time, come up, look, like to talk to you, interested in talking to you. How about I get you a drink? Like, whatever the case may be. Would you like to go out to dinner? You're a beautiful woman. Whatever. And it's turned into this whole thing like, oh my God, look at the attention I got that I absolutely had to turn down. It's such, it's so hard being me. These guys are, they're just after me. And of course, the girlfriends are always like, girl, yeah, man, fuck that dude. Like, he really ain't about shit. No way. They don't know. They don't know him. They don't know what that man got going on. Nothing. But I was given this attention. I was given this unwanted attention, even more so. But you gonna brag about it and then just let it be known that I turned him down. Obviously. Why? I promise you dudes don't do that shit. We're gonna be like, hey, man, this girl tried, she was finding him. Man, bad bitch. I had to turn her down, though. Like, straight up, bro. Like, she ain't, whatever. No. Just like, no, sorry, I can't. I'm in a relationship. No, I'm sorry, I don't have time to. No, I'm probably not the type of dude you want to fuck with. I'm not looking for a relationship. And we will say that shit too. We can make it a clear, valid point that, listen, I'm probably not the type of dude you're looking to fuck with. I've had to say that to women. And even in this current point in time, where it's like, look, nah, like, sorry, my bad. It's nothing really against you even. I know it's me. But I'm not going to the homies, man, this girl asked me out the other day, bro, man, I had to go ahead and, like, bitch, you ain't worth that. Like, what is that? Keep it rolling. Only time I think it's acceptable is when it's one of those situations where you get put in an awkward spot. And what I mean by that is if somebody does say something that's out of bounds. I would think, like, on that level, because it's more of a situation then at that point where you felt hella uncomfortable about the situation, but we rarely say anything about those instances even. Dudes, we rarely say anything about those. I think I've said something, well, oh shit. In fact, the instance where it was a very bad fucking idea after someone has, I think I told y'all about that. In fact, I know I did. The woman who, essentially I have a contract with. It could screw me up big time to deal with that individual. And then for her to have told me all of the, like, the bad shit she's done to another person, why would I put myself in that? But it's not like, I done told you every instance of every girl over this last year who's tried talking to me, and I'm just like, because number one, it's not that big of a deal. And really, whose business is it other than mine and those individuals? Anyway. Oh, what's up, Vasi? My bad. Let's get through this commercial.
The new best way to make money online that nobody's talking.
Bro, y'all need to shut the fuck up with these fake ass ads, bro. I swear I be wanting to box some of them dudes.
So this is the part where she kind of.
So I gotta pause it real quick. So pretty much, this girl made false claims on the guys. It's Myron and Walter from that podcast, Fresh and Fit. I watched the actual video, and you'll see when you watch this later on. I watched the actual video where H3H3 made an ass of himself yet again in order to promote this woman's claims, agree with her claims, and actually give her a platform to speak on something that he hadn't fully vetted. And after watching it, I made my comment to him and then ended up seeing the original video that they did on it after the fact, which was the first part. And this is the second part, where now there's even more proof beyond the incoherent bullshit story that she told. Now there's more proof that she was absolutely lying about it, exaggerating, and just trying to get herself some clout. It's crazy.
Claims like, yeah, Walter did this whole plan to separate the two, and he's like, nah, come with me, she's going over there. This is what she claims. So let's see what they say.
So eventually, like we pull up in front of the podcast apartment, and Myron was coming out of the building, and I get out of the car, and Walter leaves with my friend and took her to the phone.
No.
So I'm with Myron by myself. So we gets in his car and he drives us to like
See how she's trying to spin it as if she didn't know that was going to happen? Let's pull up the text message conversation. Listen, the club closed at 5 a.m., right? And she goes, are you down to get food at 20? Right? So she hits me up. And says, Walt, he's leaving in 20. What is it? Okay, cool. Is Walt going to bring you to Brickle and I can get you? And he goes, Walt said he'll bring me to Brickle. Boom.
So, I mean, look, and let me explain something to y'all. She made a huge point about this in that initial video, how it was like 7 a.m. and there was a place open, and who goes to do things like this time of morning or whatever. Obviously, her time frame was off or whatever, but it is what it is. But here's the thing: when you live in a big city like that, bruh, everything's still the fuck open. Just because you might have come from like some small ass town in fucking Kansas, don't mean that the rest of the world work like that. I know places where in the US, literally, the liquor license states you just got to close for an hour and you can open back up. And that's what they do. Big major cities like that, shit never stops. Vegas is 24/7. Let's keep it 100. Overseas, places like that, like it just exists that way. That is the culture and the lifestyle. So when you're dealing with a city like Miami, shit's just gonna be open. But she tried to make it seem all weird when in the text messages, he states the club closes at 5 a.m. Are you down to get food in 20? Wait, just he's leaving in 20 with Izzy. So, hold up. That means that you were okay with going to eat at 5 a.m. with this individual or in 20 minutes from that time frame, which would have been somewhere around like 4 something, KK on my way right now, 4:25 a.m. You were cool with it, but you made a huge issue out of it when you tried telling your story. All right, let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, I'll bring you there. First off, let me ask something. If you are going somewhere with somebody, you don't say, yeah, I'll bring them there. You'll say, we're coming. Yeah, we're all coming.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, these are premeditated plans.
It's premeditated that she was to be dropped off. Not everybody was going. So Walter's already out with her homegirl, Isabel, and her, and he's about to drop her off to Myron.
But she's trying to make it sound like she got ambushed with a separation.
I was very fresh and ladies, and
me in that whole story, my 2 points was the hoodie and the Listerine.
Yeah. Dead ass, the Listerine.
I hate that. I hate everything about it.
She changed out of her clothes.
If you don't get the fuck out of here.
oh,
You're in danger. You're putting on your potential attacker's hoodie. What?
Ops hoodie.
So she was cold and she put on a hoodie to have more clothes on.
Oh, she actually changed clothes.
Oh, she did.
There you go.
She said that herself. She said after that, she went and changed back in her clothes. She did say that.
She even grabbed some of her shorts.
Bruh, she said it personally. Let me put on my PJ. I'm trying to leave. Get out.
and so
They
like,
fools.
I have my hands like on him where it's like I don't want him like laying on me like intimately, so I'm just holding my hands up, and I'm like no. Like this was about like max a minute long, and I was wearing like this shirt, and it's like a very loose shirt, whatever. And he basically lifts up the shirt and made a comment, and then I was like, I'm done. I'm over this. Like,
Wait, you lifted up your shirt and kind of looked at underneath it and commented?
Yeah, my chest, because I have piercings.
You say what?
No, I said I have piercings, and he made a comment on it.
Oh, okay.
And it was very creepy.
So I don't know.
No, it was not creepy. She's mad because I basically made a joke about her titties being lopsided. Whatever.
That's a dick move. That's a dick move. Like straight up. Like, okay, look. I don't understand why you would do that. Like, it's throwing me off right now that he actually just said that. Well, I mean, at least he admitting what he did or said. So she got upset. So then as everything was going on, now I can get where she's like, all right, stop. Because he just insulted her body. And that's something that like a lot of people are sensitive of. Let's just keep it 100. You know, like a lot of women have this form of body dysmorphia that weighs on them in a constant. And it's really sad, to be honest about it, because I mean, even knowing a lot of the women that I've known in life, they've always had these things where they're like, oh, I wish I weren't this way or this way. And guys have body dysmorphia too, but we tend to deal with it a little bit differently too. We take it and internalize it differently at times. I mean, there's some things about myself. You know, I have a scar on my body that most people will never fucking see. And I absolutely hate it. It's not my fault that it's there. I mean, the choices I made, well, even they were good choices that led to that happening, to a bad situation coming out of what I thought was a good choice in protecting, you know, others. So, yeah, I feel some kind of way about it, but it doesn't make me hate myself for it or feel like I have to do all these different things in order to change it. And for women, a lot of times, that's where a lot of these plastic surgeries and situations come out, where people are doing like 7, 8, 10 different plastic surgeries on themselves in order to fix something that, to most, when they see him, there's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, for him to say something like that, fuck my ex, like I will forever, like, well, absolutely just beautiful, but had her own thoughts on her body that made me look at her like, what is wrong with you? Not like, you fucking moron, like, that, but just like, what? Do you not see? And that's just how it is. But so to say something like that, you just insulted her. Of course she gonna feel some kind of way and be like, bruh, nah.
All right? There you go. Ta-da!
But he was honest about it.
Okay. So we got to just add on some of the lies that she told and all the mischaracterizations. Maybe I'm just different. Maybe I'm weird. I couldn't imagine looking at somebody's naked body and just making a funny comment like that, knowing
right.
how self-conscious women traditionally are, or how we all are. The same thing, like if a dude shows his dick for the first time, let's say he has a small thing. Last thing you think a woman should be saying is like, damn, that penis is so small.
Bruh.
I think she's gonna take that, or he's gonna take that. Listen, women are
Bruh.
self-conscious about their titties. Okay, they don't like to look sad, they don't like to look shade on it, because the world keeps telling them stuff. And a loser like you.
And that, you hear what he said, a loser like you. Like I said, they have no love lost for these dudes, like 100.
Okay. And then sex. That's a loser when you see her laughing and giggling about it. Sure, you don't like her. But why would in the moment you be like, damn, your titties are crooked. Who the fuck talks? Throughout this whole thing, I've said, the way that they're doing this,
wow.
even though she said, oh, I don't think he did a crime or whatever. Listen, the way you said this story, the way that you guys have framed it, the fact that Ethan keeps implying it, the fact that most of the people in the comments said that
exactly.
you understand what you're framing, okay? You can't say, I didn't say he did that crime, but you're like, oh yeah. Well, he did grab a knife and then put it inside me. Oh, so he stabbed you. No, I'm not saying he stabbed you. I'm just saying, like, I was uncomfortable.
The implication is there.
Okay.
And that's a problem. The very implication of it leads to all kinds of shit. Some real bad shit.
The implication of what's being said. That doesn't mean that this dude's not a loser. Okay? That doesn't mean that this dude's not a goober. Okay? Who doesn't know how to act with people. Who gets man, who does that? Losers. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, no interest according to hey, all the power to you. You don't have to do that. Okay? My point being is like, we know these dudes are losers. That's okay. You're allowed to. That's legal. And you can feel any type of way that you want about that. But to come out and frame things with lies like that. If you just come out like, man, this guy's a loser, he made a comment on ID. Everybody would be cool with it. But you have to lie, do all this extra stuff, and I gotta look at you crazy now.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That right there is the issue. And this is where we keep coming with these gaps between us and these ideas that we can't trust one another. Especially nowadays, more so men feeling this way about a lot of the women that are in the dating market at this point in time, the dating pool, whatever you want to call it. And it's not just a few men, it's a lot. And it's a lot of different types. Dudes who do have some form of fucking common sense about themselves. Dudes who could be good dudes. Dudes who like actually have had no issue with women. Aren't abusers. Aren't like all these different things that people want to say guys are. Incels, whatever. Nah, this is coming from just like dudes in general, where it's like, bro, I can't do it because I don't want to be put in this scenario. When I said the other day how dudes are coming off now and being like, hey, I'm gonna need you to do like a video testimony saying that you cool with what's about to happen, it's almost like, nigga, what, you got to set up the casting couch in order to go ahead and, you know, get physical with a woman? You got to go that route? It's that serious now? Because otherwise you could get blamed for some shit that you absolutely did not do. It's happened too many times. And the real thing here is H3, or the H3 podcast, is ignorant enough to actually frame this whole situation. This girl played mental fucking gymnastics and then took her mental gymnastic moves, showed them to fucking H3H3, and he took it at faith that it was good without knowing a fucking thing about gymnastics. All right? All the flips and twists and turns and everything else. He has no clue about how to judge and score the situation, but he took it at face value, or what, you know, he wanted to take it as, in order to make a little bit more money, and said, let's run with it. Credibility shot. Not once, not twice, time and time again. I've caught it a couple of times. As I've said, this one is just, this is disgusting. But I mean, you know, hey, he made some money on it. He platformed somebody who perpetrated a fucking false narrative, and he himself did the same thing, went along with it, perpetrated the whole thing right alongside her. And it could potentially ruin an individual's life, whether you like them or not. It is not okay to shit all over somebody's name in that manner, to put them in a situation where they could potentially lose everything that they've worked for. Is your jealousy and your disdain that real and that important to you? Your hatred of said individual to go that far? And I know there's people out here who want to say, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. She said, no. It is that big of a deal. But what's worse, the comments and everything else, the one that I read off of it, they pushed this false narrative too. And then now he's done this video, and now people are going to go on Twitter and Instagram and push the same false narrative, blowing it up. And what's so crazy, I'm not calling them enemies in the standard sense, but in essence, their enemies are the ones who came, number one, first to say, hold on, this don't sound right. And then to go ahead and have to put out a second video alongside the proof that Myron actually put forth himself to clarify even more so. Like that's huge. When somebody who actually has a reason, a true reason, you've said things about one of these men's is, his wife. You said very personal things against them. You attacked their very livelihood by trying to shut down their YouTube channel by utilizing the copyright claim system in a false manner. But yet they came to the aid of you in essence, or to the aid of Walter and Myron in essence, because even they knew that this was wrong. But the mindset of so many people online, they don't want to see beyond what they feel, what they think, what they hear from an individual such as H3H3, who's had a podcast for years, who's been on YouTube for years, who's had this whole influencer, lifestyle for many, many years. They idolize this individual. And his idiocy then is their idiocy at the same time. Which, hey, I'm always the person who says people have to take accountability for themselves, their own actions, their own ideals, all of those things. But when you know, right, and that is true. That's 100% true. So them being dumb, my weight is on them. But when you push a false narrative, especially something along the lines of that, you're being irresponsible. And that's just the fact of it. H3H3, I forget his real name. I've heard it quite a few times. I mean, they said it a couple times in this video. But that's what I've seen him as, H3 podcast, whatever. You're pushing a false narrative. You're the one who also talks about fake news and all these other things and how detrimental it is to society and individuals. But you do it yourself. Vetting situations is very important. And I'm sorry, but no, you cannot believe everyone. And you most certainly cannot believe everyone based on just simply a gender. Believe all females. I'm sorry. They lie as well. And it's been proven more and more and more. And again, if I need to show you one more time, dead ass. She's been doing it a great deal. Zero evidence behind it. And that's what's so crazy. I'm sure some of y'all even think, how do you possibly even try and get away with something like that when you're in text messages or, things are being recorded and everything else? Trust me. People have found ways to do it all. It is so simple to go into your phone and say, oh, let's see, I want to remove this message that I sent and this message that I sent to someone. And you know what? As proof, I'm going to send this string of messages that they sent to me, and now it doesn't look like I sent them anything. And then to be stupid enough to think that the other individual isn't going to say anything, because guess what? Most guys don't say anything. So maybe it wasn't stupid on her behalf in thinking that. But in this case, Myron has no choice but to say something, because you're attacking his character, which is then attacking his brand, which is then attacking his business, which then he could lose everything. Those that work alongside him can lose everything. And just the same as in Johnny Depp's case, deals go away, sponsorships go away, business all in all goes away, friends go away. Because the narrative in the media as a whole is that, you know what? If she said it happened, even though that's not always the case. But we're oblivious and blind to those scenarios because a great deal of times men don't stand up and speak up about it. So maybe it's a situation that now what needs to be said is, guys, I'm sorry, when you're put in these positions, when you're put in these scenarios, versus going off of the old standard that we live by, that it's too much of a bother, that it's too much of it's too much to care about, to even go and try and shut somebody down because I know the truth. Well, guess what? The truth is that in this day and age, a lot of times the truth doesn't fucking matter. And now it's about that time. Maybe you're going to have to stand up and start speaking up in instances that you never thought or wanted or cared to even have to stand up and speak up against, because as a man, you knew that that wasn't your character, that you weren't that, and you weren't this, horrific individual. The crazy thing about it is, no matter what happens in this whole case, no matter what happens, after like watching the amount of it or listening to the amount of it while I'm doing different things, it blows my mind how people still are looking like, no, she was the victim. He has evidence and proof, stacks and stacks on stacks. And maybe that's another reason why guys don't say anything, because a greater deal of the time, no matter what, we are looked at as jokes if we ever say anything like that. You know, when you are actually mentally abused by a female, and you start to learn that that's the case, and you start realizing it, you don't say anything to anybody. I can attest to this 100%. You don't say anything about it because inside you're like, man, I'm not weak like that. I can push this shit off to the side. I can get through it. I can deal with it. It's not that big of a deal. And it's even more so a joke when it's physical abuse. So guys, don't say anything. Because it's like, your girl beat you up? What? Wait, you're emotionally and mentally damaged because of the way someone been treating you? Because you always think that, you know what, it's cool. You know what, we're going to get into these little tiffs or whatever. It's not that big of a deal. And then everything that they have emotionally going on starts draining you to a point that then you realize, holy shit, why am I feeling tired and I don't want to do anything today? Is this what fucking depression is? What? Why am I depressed? I've been the happiest motherfucker my entire life. I could deal with anything. No, I'm going to fight through this. I'm going to deal with it. And you know what? I'm going to make my relationship stronger and I'm going to, keep shit going and everything else. And then all of a sudden, poof, that relationship is gone. And now you're sitting there and you're like, wait a minute. The whole fucking world just collapsed around me because everything that I ever cared about is now gone. And in this situation, in this very situation, everything he cared about, everything that was so there in his life was snatched away from him. And maybe you can get over the fact that, the woman left or whatever. But she said some really damaging and fucked up shit about you, which then took away your career, your friends, and everybody in the world looked at you, especially when you're in that position, on that level. Everyone looked at you like, oh, ooh, you're a horrible individual. You beat this woman. You assaulted her physically, sexually, all these different things. So he had to speak up. And my point being that by him speaking up and actually having what we call now the receipts, evidence, proof that this was going on, that she was actually the one who did these things, initiated these things, played the mental mind games, all of that. And then you actually see her when she speaks. I swear to God, it's one of those things where it's like, bruh, if you have any psychological training at all, and shit, half the time you don't even have to have psychological training. All you need is common fucking sense. When you listen to her speak and the things that she says, they contradict everything she said before. And then to sit there and be able to say, everyone else is lying but me, the stuff that you're hearing is absolutely false. What I'm saying right now, even though I said something else yesterday or a year ago or 5 years ago, all that's wrong. What I'm saying right now is what matters and what counts. And then twisting the truth and pushing the goalpost on how she answers a question, or pushing the goalpost on the question in order to fit her answer and her narrative. Now people are actually seeing it. So maybe this is what needs to happen. Maybe guys need to actually stand up and say, hey, you know what? I can't deal with this shit anymore. I'm not going to be the sucker. I'm not going to play these games. And get up, number one, get away from the situations, walk away from the relationships, whatever. And B, most definitely, speak up when you're accused of something of this nature. But yeah, so wow, it's only been an hour and 20 minutes. Damn, I could have just recorded a video on this versus going on a live stream, because there is something, again, I've been getting messages now throughout this entire time, and a couple of them I need to answer because it is work. One of the things I kind of wanted to do is leave open the ability for you guys, like one day maybe we sit and just like discuss just whatever, but more than anything, since this is one of the, I think like some people call it mental health day or whatever, do you have any scenarios or situations that you want to, as an individual, discuss in a manner where, you know, no one knows you, it's completely anonymous, but just to speak about and say, hey, I got this going on in life right now, just to get it out there, just to kind of release that pressure. It doesn't matter what it's about. Maybe it's something with school, maybe it's something with work, maybe it's something with a relationship that you're trying to get into or that you're in or whatever. Just to have a place to speak about it. I think that it's something I want to do to kind of have that kind of a day while we're, you know, while I'm doing the stream and gaming, something along the lines of that. But more so just having those sorts of conversations, because sometimes it's very important to do so, just to be able to let out something in an anonymous sort of way, just to clear, just to get it off your chest. All right. I mean, I think you guys get where I'm going with that. And if it's something you guys want to do, let me know. And you can definitely let me know in Discord and just say, hey, yeah, it'd be a good idea to do so. And I'll make a day for it and just roll with it. All right. But of course, even when we're in streams, if that's what you feel the need to do at that point, I don't mind it, even if it's not on a very specific day. Maybe it's just something that's bothering you right then. You know, I keep saying that communication is a huge thing, and it usually can help fix or at least help individuals understand one another in, you know, relationships, work atmospheres, and just day-to-day life in general. So I think that it's kind of one of those situations. I in my own mindset, I think that when we all get on here while I'm streaming or whatever, and we talk about the things that we talk about, I'm gonna keep it honest with you, you know, first and foremost. But I think it actually allows sometimes for people to release some kind of a stress, just to let out whatever it is. And that's both male and female. There's no misogyny here, no, you know, no ideas where it's like you're wrong because you're a fucking woman. That's disgusting. There's no hatred against, you know, anyone. It's just a place where it's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If something was on you, then it was on you. That's it. But even more so than just telling you you're right or wrong, it's more of a thing to try and figure out how to work it out. I think that's the bigger, you know, situation. This shit sometimes can honestly be draining to hear and see some of these individuals say the things and do the things that they do, because it's like, you know, they're full of shit. So it's very hard for me to be the type of person I am to say I believe in people taking accountability and then just constantly watching people take zero accountability in them. And fuck, I know that's how some relationships can be, where one individual will take all the accountability and the other one will just be like, I didn't do anything at all. Wasn't my fault. He didn't have time for me, so I slept with someone else and it was your fault. Like, it's that type of shit. You see it constantly. The shit can be draining. I mean, it really can. But you know what? I do it because I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And also, I think it helps others to talk about it. And hopefully, at some point, we come to some form of solution or agreement. Because one of the shittiest parts about all of this is the separation that it creates amongst men and women. It's so stupid. We need each other. That's all there is to it. Whether you are a female who believes that fucking I can do better on my own, You can, you shouldn't. Two's better than one. That's just all there is to it. And if you're a guy who's like, all these females ain't nothing but pieces of shit and bitches and all this other stuff, that's not the case. Not all of them. If you are in a relationship right now, work on your shit, because I swear to you, jumping out into the dating pool again, you don't want to do it. It's a fucking mess. A greater deal of people are a mess in it right now. These are just facts. But always, always listen to what someone's saying to you. Listen to what someone's, telling you. Listen to or notice when someone is abusing your kind-heartedness, good nature, whatever the case may be. All right. So on that note, I'm going to end this stream for now. Hopefully I can get back on later on. I'm going to deal with this stuff. It's going to take me easily over an hour and a half. I really want to get back on my fucking server right now and play some GTA 5, but I may not be able to do it. And later on tonight, if I do get back on, I'm getting on Enlisted and probably some Cold War. But thanks a lot for watching. For those of you on YouTube who are watching, obviously, after the stream, please go ahead and like the video. Leave your comments, your thoughts, anything that you might have dealt with in these situations. Let me know about it. I want to hear you guys' perspective on these things. And most definitely subscribe. For those of you on Twitch, thanks a million for watching. Please feel free to go ahead and follow the channel if you want to subscribe. That would be fantastic. I will see you all later. But y'all know how this goes. I'm the Shell Bullet 8, and right now my brain is mentally fried, so therefore, no, I got some fucking work to do too. And therefore, I'm out. See you later.